However you are watching today's edition of CNN Student News, thanks for doing it. I'm Carl Azuz at the CNN Center in Atlanta. First up, congressional Democrats float plans for an auto industry bailout by the White House. The initial response, not exactly enthusiastic. As you know, this issue, whether the government should help out struggling U.S. automakers, has been dominating headlines for weeks. White House officials had some concerns about the proposal they saw yesterday. The president and lawmakers plan to keep working on the details. Now, Cade Baldwin looks at the latest steps in this process.
Auto industry supporters like Michigan Senator Carl Levin paint a dire picture of what will happen if Congress doesn't act quickly.
Last month we lost, 500,000 jobs in this country? So the economic impact, it would be terrible if any of the big three go under, and there's that recognition, I think, that has grown across the country and here in Washington.
Friday, Democratic leaders reversed course and reluctantly agreed to fund the emergency loan using money that was reserved to help automakers produce more fuel-efficient vehicles, a plan the White House is pushing. Sources tell CNN the loan could total between $15 and $17 billion to help the car makers survive through March. However, lawmakers say it will come with a price, restructuring and oversight.
I'm not for giving these companies any money at all, short of real commitments to restructuring and reorganization, and putting someone like a czar or a board with real power to make decisions.
Senate Banking Committee Chairman Chris Dodd says one condition should be a change in leadership.
If you're going to really restructure this, you've got to bring in a new team to do this, in my view.
So what you're saying about GM is that Rick Wagner, the chairman, has to go.
I think he has to move on.
Despite growing consensus among Democratic members of Congress, Republicans with the power to block the bill remain divided. Some, like Alabama Senator Richard Shelby, continue to oppose a bailout, saying bankruptcy is the better option.
This has been 30 years in the making. This so-called bridge loan to nowhere will be the first down payment of many.
A Democratic leadership aide says the goal is to finalize the auto rescue package to vote by the middle of the week, but it remains unclear if they have the votes and the support to pass it.
As of now, every agency has been ordered to suspend doing any business with the Bank of America. The Bank of America received $25 billion in taxpayer money as part of the financial bailout.
The governor of Illinois, whom you heard there, says that bailout money should help keep people working. More than 200 employees are out of a job because their factory shut down after Bank of America shut off the company's line of credit. As we reported yesterday, the workers have responded by staging a peaceful protest at the Republic Windows and Doors factory. Yesterday we said Republican Windows and Doors, it's Republic. Laid-off workers there say they won't leave the plant until they get severance and earn vacation pay, as required by law. For its part, Bank of America says it is not responsible for any action taken by Republic or the company's commitment to its employees. Some history being made in the House of Representatives. When the next Congress is sworn into office, it will include the first Vietnamese American ever elected to America's legislative branch. Republican An Joseph Gao claimed victory in Louisiana this weekend. The attorney and local organizer defeated incumbent Democratic Representative William Jefferson, that 9-term congressman facing trial on federal corruption charges. Gao's win also breaks a century-long streak of Democratic control in New Orleans.
Time for the shout-out. Which of these countries is Pakistan? If you think you know it, shout it out. Is it A, B, C, or D? You've got 3 seconds. Go. On this map, the nation of Pakistan is A. That's your answer, and that's your shout-out.
Pakistan is responding to last month's deadly attacks in Mumbai, India, by carrying out raids inside its own borders. Indian authorities say the only surviving attacker has told them that he and the other gunmen were trained at a terrorist camp in Pakistan. Reza Sayah has the details of the country's crackdown on the group that's being blamed for the violence.
Pakistani military officials confirmed to CNN a raid launched against a facility with suspected links to the Mumbai attack. Sources tell CNN at least 15 people have been arrested. The raid took place just outside of the city of Muzaffarabad. That's the capital of the Pakistani portion of the disputed territory of Kashmir. This is a territory that India and Pakistan have fought over for more than 6 decades. The raid, according to sources, targeted a site run by a group called Jamaat-ud-Dawa. Now, this is where things get a little confused and murky. If you ask Jamaat-ud-Dawa what your organization is about, they will tell you all they are is a charity group. They do relief work. They run a couple of schools. They have a website they invite you to look at. They say you can tour our facilities and you will find nothing. But U.S. intelligence officials, Indian intelligence officials, and analysts say Jamaat-ud-Dawa is actually a front group for the banned militant group Lashkar-e-Taiba. Lashkar-e-Taiba was a group formed a couple of decades ago in Pakistan to fight Indian rule in Kashmir. It is widely believed that in the past, Pakistani intelligence services funded and nurtured this group, and it has also been accused in carrying out a number of attacks during the past decade in India, and of course, it is suspect number 1, according to the Indian government, in these latest attacks on Mumbai. Jamaat-ud-Dawa denies any links to Lashkar-e-Taiba, but once again, military officials in Pakistan say a raid has been carried out and 15 people are under arrest. The raid coming just days after U.S. Secretary of State came to Islamabad and demanded Pakistan to act. Reza Sayah, CNN, Islamabad.
A word to the wise. Quirky, peculiar, strange, or unusual.
Why is there salt in the sea? How would you define infinity? Do snails have self-awareness? Not your typical trivia, but you better come up with some answers if you're searching for acceptance to a couple of universities in England. These quirky questions are part of the interview process. Atika Schubert examines why the pair of prestigious schools is presenting prospective students with these peculiar ponderings.
Always dreamed of going to Britain's prestigious Oxford or Cambridge universities? Well, then try answering these brain teasers that we took to the street.
Would you rather be a novel or a poem?
A poem.
How many monkeys would you use in an experiment?
7.
2, I would say.
Do you think you're clever?
Can be.
Should we have laws for the use of light bulbs?
No.
If I were a grapefruit, would I rather be seedless or non-seedless?
With seeds. Seedless.
The use of light bulbs.
Yeah.
I can't. It's my birthday today. I can't think.
All strange but actual questions asked at admission interviews to Oxbridge, as the two universities are collectively known. But what's the logic behind the questions?
So I'd imagine they're trying to profile you to see which side of your brain works quickest, your left or your right side.
I mean, are they on drugs, these people in Cambridge? I don't know, maybe.
Because obviously if they just ask them academic questions, then everyone could just be a robot.
University admissions say that last answer is exactly right.
What we're trying to do is move students out of their comfort zone. Many students will have a body of knowledge and they may be expected to be tested on that at interview. We want to try and take them beyond that point and get them to actually start thinking for themselves.
Questions that stretch your thinking. Maybe they should have asked this question.
How could you organise a successful revolution?
By making me the president of the United States.
Some questions, it seems, are easier to answer than others. Atika Schubert, CNN, Oxford.
Would you rather be a novel or a poem? Yeah, you know we're talking about this on our blog. Head to cnnstudentnews.com and share your thoughts on these peculiar admissions practices. But remember, please only use your first name so we can post what you say. Before we go, it can be hard to pick out the perfect Christmas tree. That is why Claudia just takes them all. And she decks them out with oodles of ornaments and lots of lights. The whole house holds some holiday cheer. She's got 37 total trees stashed all over, in the kitchen, in the living room. There's one in the pantry she refers to as her pan tree. It's decorated with pans. There are even 2 in the bathroom. But we probably don't want to see what's hanging on those branches. You guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.